My name is Jen Crook, and I am a candidate for the Master of Educational Technology program here at Boise State University, and this is my final e-portfolio reflection. I have spent the better part of my adult life at home raising our 4 children. When my youngest daughter started kindergarten, I knew that it was time for me to move into the professional world and start work on my graduate studies. That year, I also became employed part-time at our elementary school as a small group reading instruction specialist. I became very passionate about reading instruction and comprehension, as it is the foundation of all learning. In 2012, I began a journey towards a graduate degree. I lived in Utah at the time and had chosen a Master of Education program at Weber State University. After completing a semester of teaching 6th grade, and with only 2 classes remaining in the master's program at Weber State, our family had to make a difficult and drastic decision to move to Idaho in an effort to help our struggling teenager. This move is what prompted my decision to essentially start over in a new graduate program. I started the MET program here in August 2014, and yes, that was just 4 short semesters ago. When I found the BSU EdTech program, I was giddy with excitement because our family loves Boise State football and I love technology. Win-win. Despite living only 15 miles from the great BSU campus, our school district is dismal at best when it comes to technology. In our current elementary school, each classroom has 3 computers, and students go to the computer lab for a grand total of 30 minutes a week. There's 1 classroom set of iPads to be shared with the entire school, so each class might get the iPads 1 day a month, if they're lucky. Due to poor bandwidth, only about 15 students can be working simultaneously online without being disconnected. So while these are discouraging circumstances, technology is truly in its infancy in this area, and the timing really couldn't be more perfect as I head into the professional realm with my newly acquired skills. I feel that I will have something to offer that this district has never been able to experience before, and I'm excited for what the future holds, although I still am not sure what that looks like yet. My coursework in the MET program, although intense and fast-paced, has been a gratifying experience. I have taken a great many classes that have enriched my life personally, and I know that will enrich it professionally when the time comes. In EdTech 501, I received a second dose of Introduction to Graduate Studies. I am forever grateful for the similar class I took at Weber State that focused heavily on APA. This previous knowledge truly set me up for a successful writing experience in this program. EdTech 503 was an Introduction to Instructional Design. This was a great class for me to be able to really step back as a teacher and take a look at education through the design process. I had honestly never really considered all that went into creating instruction, and my hat goes off to those that find that they love it. While it was a great glimpse into possibilities, I don't know that it's necessarily the profession that interests me. In EdTech 504, this was another class that I already had previous knowledge from. The difference in this course was that it focused on integrating technology with learning theories. In the past, I've been really drawn to Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. I quite enjoy researching peer-reviewed articles, and annotated bibliographies are actually really fascinating to me. So this was a great opportunity for me to see what current scholars are saying about mobile and e-learning in conjunction with Gardner's MI theory. EdTech 542 was an introductory look at project-based learning with an emphasis on integrating technology. I am currently in EdTech 506, Graphic Design for Educators, and it's still very early in the semester, so I only have a few artifacts from this course so far. In EdTech 502, this was probably the most terrifying class when it first started. Coding a website? That was daunting. In this class, we learned to create a website using HTML through Dreamweaver and CSS. I quickly came to realize that I was able to use some of my prior graphic design skills and creativity, and I had a lot of fun. My favorite artifact was creating the virtual field trip, our nation's capital. I created this virtual field trip for 8th grade students as per Common Core standards. This virtual field trip visits multiple landmarks around Washington, D.C., including the Capitol Building, monuments and other landmarks, the Smithsonian Institute, and Arlington National Cemetery. Each stop or website was created with an identical layout to show consistency through the navigation. Back on the home page is a downloadable worksheet where students can download this and answer the questions that will appear all through the virtual field trip. Each page includes the links that students will need in order to answer the questions. There's a section of extra links to explore, and this is a perfect opportunity for teachers to use in whole group discussions. Each page consists of an interactive map. There's also a video and a photo slideshow. This activity was very rewarding for me and has actually made me really want to create more in the future. And it's a possibility that I can do this during this time when I'm not actually employed outside the home. I would actually like to publish or share this virtual field trip with my colleagues. This desire to publish the field trip led me to consider this as my project for EdTech 505. By surveying actual students, I found that they did enjoy this method of learning and felt that the activity was engaging and worthwhile. The teacher survey's results offered me many suggestions and ways to make it better, but also those aspects that they thought already worked well. It was rewarding to hear that 100% of the teachers surveyed felt that this was truly an engaging and meaningful method of delivery of instruction, especially on this topic, and they would welcome the opportunity to use it in their classroom. EdTech 541 is where things started to get really exciting as I began one of the 2 needed courses for the Technology Integration Specialist Graduate Certificate. This was a grueling course and one I actually take great pride in, as I'm sure I spent more than double the weekly hours on each assignment. I took each assignment very seriously, and as I was really driven to create meaningful and useful content. As I've gone through the MET program, I've tried my hardest to connect my passion of reading instruction and comprehension skills. That passion has been the basis for nearly all of my artifacts in one way or another. I chose to create multiple lessons with a central theme of life on the Oregon Trail, as per Grade 4 Common Core standards. But these lessons are still very heavy on the focus of language arts. Each lesson includes student objectives, activity directions, along with all the necessary links and to the components that are needed to teach this lesson. Many teachers choose to teach this unit, particularly using a simulation activity, and divide the students into wagon families. The students are required to outfit their wagons and keep a daily diary of their activities. It is a comprehensive unit of study and generally takes several weeks to complete. The ebook diary was a fun activity I created using Mixbook.com. Instead of simply creating a handwritten diary, as many classrooms do, for this lesson students are to create their diary in ebook format, complete with photos and sketches and other artistic artifacts that they may find as they move into research on their primary source documents. In this particular lesson, students are taught the difference between primary and secondary source documents and where to find them. This lesson also introduces students to Google Maps, where they can compare and contrast modern-day map technology with that found from the 1800s. The third content choice activity integrates art, music, and PE into the Oregon Trail theme. I not only created a fun interactive flyer using S'more, but also had a blast researching songs and games from the Oregon Trail time period. I have no doubt that children can learn about the past and have a great time doing it. Each of these lessons meet multiple Common Core standards, as well as provides many diverse methods of teaching and education as per Howard Gardner's multiple intelligent theory. Through these choice activities, it was my mission to create content for a subject that quite frankly, gets forgotten often in the daily curriculum, and that's social studies, art, PE, music. While there are standards to meet for each of these, teachers are still faced with teaching and mastering content that will be tested at the end of the year. The only way to truly get some of these forgotten subjects into the curriculum is through integration. Integrating art, music, and physical education took a little bit more creativity on my part, but ultimately still proved to be relatively easy to integrate into language arts. I had actually the fortunate experience to have a fourth grade daughter during my experience in this class, and it was a lot of fun to be able to share these activities with her teacher, who will now in turn be able to use them in her Oregon Trail unit this next year. Now, some people have asked, what am I going to do with all these great lessons I've created if I'm not working in the school setting right now? Well, the answer is simple. I'm going to share everything I've created, free of charge, with my colleagues. I'm going to start with the teachers that I know personally, and then allow them to share with their colleagues. Eventually, I'd like to publish each lesson on Teachers Pay Teachers, free of charge, as a way to share my efforts. If these activities and lessons never see the light of day in the classroom, then I have come to an awful lot of work for nothing. The journey, albeit very intense and condensed, has been such a gratifying experience. While I am unsure what the future holds for my family or for my professional career, I know that I am a better person for having completed this program. I know that my children can now say with confidence that their mother is a very smart person. I was the first in my family to go and graduate from college, and I will be the first to obtain further higher education. I feel it is my responsibility to set the standard high for the generations that will follow me. And while I have been able to have a career outside of the home for the past 20 years, I still have a passion for education, and my greatest desire is to prove to my children that we can all do hard things. Since that very beginning semester in 2012, I have maintained a 4.0 grade point average, and this is proof that anyone can be successful if they want it bad enough. Even while we were dealing with some of the most difficult circumstances at home with our teenager, my education was what kept me sane. I take the EdTech mission seriously. I feel that I have become empowered to be an evolving digital citizen who can now go forward and advocate cultural understanding and global responsibility. Thank you for taking the time to consider me as a Master of Educational Technology candidate. It has been an honor to work with this caliber of peers and professors in such a fantastic program.